Special teams are not very special.
Oh wow.
Dun, dun, tss.
Oh, by the way,
What?
has anyone been in the island the Facebook group today?
No.
Okay, I would like to read my favorite Facebook post in the history of this godforsaken social media website ever. It is by far the greatest thing I've ever read, and I had no choice but to comment LOL. Ready? What if the Isles got Chris Neal for the top line with JT and Oki when he comes back?
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
That-
What?
I swear to God, that was the post. Literally, I commented LOL. Because I really thought he was just trying to troll the group. I was just like, huh? Like, is this an attempt at trolling? I hope so.
That's gotta be Pete. Pete came in as far, but it's great.
I love how he called Rich a hacker. Deets, give me the deets. Give me the deets. Give me the deets. Yeah, I can't wait for Game of Thrones to start. Just saying.
From Game of Thrones, dude.
Yo, check yourself.
Yo, you
Before you
check
wreck
yourself
yourself.
before I wreck my check myself.
Okay, let's start before we absolutely train wreck before we even start.
Black Sails and The Walking Dead is all you need to know.
I can't get into Walking Dead. I am gonna try and get into
That
Black
is
Sails
so
though.
great. Walking Dead is so great.
I am gonna try and get into Black Sails. But I
Black
can't get
Sails
into
is
Walking Dead.
Black Sails is absolutely fantastic.
Plus, I've heard there's too many episodes of Walking Dead where it's just nonstop literal walking.
You're an idiot. It's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
I'm serious. People are like, yo, there's episodes where they do nothing but walk.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I'm watching American Horror Story actually right now.
Oh, that was great. You watching
I'm up
Freak
to
Show?
No, I'm up to the season finale of the second season. So what is that?
Okay.
Briarcliff Asylum?
Wait till you get to the next one, and then you get to Freak Show.
I know. I heard Freak Show's really good.
Sick.
So I'm excited, but I got to watch the season finale of the second season first.
Sick.
All right, good. I'm glad it stays good. All right, let's do this. Ready? Let's pretend we know what we're talking about.
Boychuk straight on at the point. Nelson top of the right circle. Tavares in the left. Fires. He scores! John Tavares has his first of the season. A power play goal. And it's 1-0 Islanders. Joe Thornton. He must score to keep it going. In alone he comes. Towards the right circle. Down the middle. Shoot. Tarak made the save. And the Islanders have won it here tonight. 4-3 in the shootout. They stay perfect on the season and go to 4-0.
You are listening to the Dump and Chase podcast with your hosts, Shane Blackburn, Andy Graziano, and Rich Diaz Rodriguez.
And we are back here at the Dump and Chase podcast. I am Shane Blackburn alongside Andy Graziano and Rich Diaz Rodriguez. As always, follow us at Dump and Chase 80, at Tasman19, and at RDNHL. It is Wednesday, February 4th, 2015, and the Islanders have currently 3 losses in a row. And that's where we're going to start here with the... I don't want to call them struggling yet because we've lost 3 games in a row already this season. We lose tomorrow night, and maybe I'll label them struggling. Parts of the game are definitely struggling. But I don't quite know that they're struggling as a whole yet. Andy, Rich, how you guys doing?
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Let's chat.
Where do we want to start with this team?
Well, I think, the question on everybody's mind is obviously the special team debacle that has become of the power play and the penalty kill. We have a lot of varying opinions out there on who's to blame for said failures. So I guess we should probably start there. Since you're the host, your call whether you want to start with the power play or the penalty kill, because they both have their own individual problems.
Let's start with the power play because I think the penalty kill is going to take for a lot more time.
Okay.
So let's start with the power play. I don't even know where to start with the power play though, because they just don't seem comfortable. And watching the game last night, I was saying when they have control of the puck in the zone, they're halfway decent. But the minute the team clears the puck, it's the power play's over. There's just no way we get back in and reset up.
There's no identity on the power play right now. I noticed that last night. It's not that it's flat, more than it lacks an aggressive leader or someone to take charge individual. We expected Wisniewski to do that, but he looked absolutely awful yesterday. And I've noticed as the last few games have gone by that the Islanders lack an identity on that power play. They don't have any sort of creativity, any sort of gumption to pivot off from. So I feel as if the Islanders are, it's just there's an organizational issue that needs to be addressed. I think that it doesn't seem like to be a game plan. It just seems to be like, let's just hope this all kind of gets together. We get a lucky bounce or something. Just forget it. It's just not all over the place.
Well, I mean, Jack Capuano spoke to the team prior to yesterday's game, is what I was told, and implored them to shoot the puck. And we still didn't see much of that last night. I think that on the power play, it's a desire to get too fancy. You really don't see many guys crashing the front of the net, with the exception of Anders Lee. You see nobody standing in front of the net. You don't see point shots getting through to the net. You don't even see point shots being attempted. And that's, I think, the part that really bothers me. They spend so much time looking for the perfect pass. And lately the zone entry on the power play hasn't been good either. And basically if you're going to play dump and chase on the power play, you better be damn sure you outnumber the opposing team in the corner and you win that puck back. And too many times we see after a couple of failed zone entries, we see the Islanders try to dump it in and they fail to win the puck back in the corner even though they outnumber the defenseman 2-1. And that to me is just effort. That to me is just willingness and effort. That doesn't come down to, for me, systematic. And I think you'll see kind of who I place more of the responsibility on for special teams more as we get into the penalty kill as well.
My problem with the power play, with the entry, it seems like our go-to is obviously get the puck to Tavares and let him carry it over. But the minute Tavares touches the puck, there's at least 2 penalty kills on him. And then it makes it difficult for him to move the puck over to someone else to get over, and we're shut down at the blue. It's like there's a wall on the blue line during our power play that we just can't penetrate and get through on the zone entry. And then once we're in, I feel that we force too many low percentage passes versus taking medium percentage shots.
Agreed. Absolutely.
And I think I think that Tavares is a big part of that. I think he tries to force too many cute passes on the power play, and too many times have I seen him off the half wall pass it right into a penalty killer's skate or stick.
Did you say half wall?
I did.
Okay. Check. I wasn't sure.
What do you?
Maybe something wrong with my earphones.
I just believe that the Islanders should moving forward should use Leddy or Boychuk as a potential quarterback and just
They should decline the damn power play moving forward.
No, that is my biggest gripe. My biggest gripe with the power play.
I hate the 4-forward power play.
Not only do I hate the 4-forward power play, but I hate that with the 4-forward power play, our defenseman is Wisniewski. Love Wisniewski. There is
he's
no
having a
reason.
really hard time with it. Since he came back, he's having a really tough time.
There is no reason our power play unit 1 shouldn't be Strome, Tavares, and Lee with Boychuk and Leddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That shouldn't be power play unit 1.
When you want to talk coaching, when people want to talk coaching, and when people want to jump all over Jack Capuano, I don't think some of the criticism towards Capuano is fair for a very simple reason. Not because I don't think he deserves blame, not because I don't think he deserves to be held accountable, because he does. And fans have every right to basically do and say whatever they want in today's world, especially with social media. But What I don't think's fair is to not give him credit when things are going well and to jump all over him when things are going bad. That is the only thing that bothers me with the criticism of Capuano and to a smaller extent Waite and Cronin as well. That is the only thing I place on them. I've always been, as long as I've been a fan, I've always been a fan of kind of point the finger at the players first. Unfortunately, you can't fire all the players, so the coach usually ends up taking the fall. But I've always been a players first accountability guy, and the only thing I can put on the coaching staff, though, is the personnel that they're choosing to put out there, to Shane's point that he just made.
And I understand Franz. I understand Franz has been the power play guy since he's been here. There are people on the team better than him now. There is no reason. I love Franz Nielsen to death. There's no reason he shouldn't be centering power play unit 2. There's no reason
you want your best possession guys. Your best possession guys need to be on the power play. You could even make an argument for, on why does Mikhail Grabovski get such limited power play time? He's an outstanding possession guy this year via the advanced metrics. Why isn't those are the kind of guys you need on the power play?
I understand that I'm not the coach of the Islanders, but here's what my 10 would look like. Power play 1.
You understand that?
Shut up. Power play 1 would be what I just said. It would be Tavares, Strome, and Lee.
Yep.
Leddy and Boychuk. Leddy carries the puck in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Leddy carries the puck in. You pull up. You let everyone get into position. You start to set up. Leddy's your quarterback. John Tavares is the best player on the New York Islanders. Leddy is the quarterback of power play 1. Power play 2, you go Nielsen. In my opinion, you go Nielsen, Nelson, and Grabovski with Hamonic and Dahan.
Right. I agree. That's what it is. It comes down to personnel. And I think that if there's one thing that Capuano's been very stubborn with is you really don't have many issues, and again, we'll talk to this in a little bit, but you really don't have many issues on the penalty kill in terms of personnel. Not issues, options, I mean. On the power play, as you just laid out, Shane, you have plenty of options. And
right.
His stubbornness to stick with what's clearly not working
that's the one thing
what
that
you can definitely put on it. Yeah.
That's what you call madness. Madness is trying to do the same exact thing twice with different results each time. It's just
that's like being an Islander fan.
Yeah, but it's something that was mentioned in the press box. I overheard Denny Potvin talking about it on the Florida telecast that the Panthers right around the right before the All-Star break they changed up the entire power play, and ever since have actually been on the climb there. They've been rising and been more successful, and yesterday proved it against the Rangers. Even though they had a shorthand goal, they also scored a power play. They're a very young team. I was very impressed with that squad, even though they're not a very good team, but they're a very young team. It's not that they're not good; they're just young.
Although some of those goals were weak, though, Rich. They impressed me, but some of those goals could easily have been prevented, and not by Halak, but by just better, sounder defense by the Islanders.
But what I'm saying is that a young team like the Panthers exploited a much faster, experienced team in the Islanders, and you got a kid like Aaron Ekblad who's got Johnny Boychuk numbers, and he's 19, 18, something crazy like that.
Aaron Ekblad is unbelievable.
He's amazing. And this team's going to blow up if wherever they are, Quebec City, Kansas City, Seattle, who the hell knows. Wherever this team goes, if they stay in Florida or not, this team is going to be a force to be reckoned with in a few years. Not because of what they did last night, but because when you look at their numbers and you match them up with, like I said, Ekblad with Johnny Boychuk, these guys are like almost identical. Almost identical.
Yeah. I mean.
No. Numbers-wise.
No, yeah, numbers-wise, right? Yeah, I think they play a totally different game.
But. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, when it comes to, just to get back to the power play for a second here, when it comes to zone entry, I think that the problem with giving Tavares the puck is when Tavares carries the puck over the blue line, he's got one thing on his mind, and it's make your move, get to the net, shoot, because that's how he plays. That's his game. His game is he's going to score. He's going to make that unreal play where you look at him and go, holy crap, did he just do that? That's not what you need on the power play. On the power play, you need the guy like Leddy, whose thought process is, okay, I'm going to carry it over and then look at my options.
He's the only player on the Islanders. The lead pipe is the only guy I trust with the puck right now.
I wouldn't say that, and I agree with Al. I think Al is the one who just said it in the chat room. Grabovski flies into the zone with possession of the puck and makes the right move.
but he's not as strong as Letty. You need somebody strong on that puck.
Right. But Grabowski would be the puck carrier on power play too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You said that.
But-
That's fine.
Right, but I think Letty carries the puck. You get in, you set up, and then all of a sudden, now that you're set up, your power play is completely different because now you're not focused solely on setting up. Now you're focused on, okay, we're in, we're set up, let's move the puck now. Then you start to move the puck a little bit better. Letty is smart enough where he could help get in a better position for Tavares to make the cute pass to him. Boychuk has the rocket, so you know that a penalty killer is going to gravitate to Boychuk. And that opens up Lee and Strome to move the puck down low. I should be the coach.
You should be.
No. But the power play I think is much the power play is more easily fixable than the penalty kill is. So let's start talking about the penalty kill because the power play in my opinion is just a personnel issue, not a
The power play.
system issue. The penalty kill is a system issue.
I disagree.
No,
Really?
it's the personnel issue. You don't have
You
any.
go
The
first.
penalty kill is personnel.
You go first, Shane.
Okay.
ahead.
I don't think the penalty kill is personnel because when we had one of the best penalty kills in the league, what was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
It was Grabner and Nielsen, and who was it? Martin and Bailey. So I don't think it's a personnel issue. I don't understand the roving forward. I will never get it. I don't get it. I don't think it'll work. I don't understand what that one random forward who just kind of skates around at the blue line from side to side and apparently does nothing because they get shots from the point galore on our penalty kill.
Okay.
In my opinion, it's not the personnel. It's stop with the roving forward, go to a large aggressive box, and shut down the perimeter passes and the shots from the point.
Okay. Rich, go ahead.
No, I agree. I
They don't call the best in the business for nothing, folks.
no, it's just quite frankly, I'm absolutely at a loss for words. Last night was god awful. The night before, the game before, God, the Islanders have no answer to whatever power play is on the ice. The best, the worst, the semi-worst, the penultimate worst. I mean, it just, you could roll out a Pee Wee league and it can totally run circles around.
To my point, look at whenever we play Washington.
Yeah, it's
Where
very
does
simple.
Ovechkin shoot from, and where does he score from?
He's the hash, and he just shoots it. Oh, the circle, done.
And that's because the roving forward can't get over in time, and the other forward can't move over quick enough.
So what are you gonna do? A diamond?
No, a large aggressive box. If the team sets up the umbrella, fine, switch to the diamond. But the diamond also doesn't mean a roving random forward. The diamond means set up the diamond and cover your area.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, and I want to hear what you have to say, Andy.
Oh, it's my turn?
No, you know what? No, Rich, you have anything else you want to say?
I defer to Andy.
All right. The reason I say personnel is this. I think that the players themselves have not been consistently attentive enough to the penalty kill. We've seen this team and this penalty kill system work. It's worked. All right, over a 9-game stretch from November 6th to November 24th, the Islanders killed 25 of 27. Okay? There was a 12-game stretch in January where they went 27 of 29. That tells me that the system itself can work if the players are paying attention to it and paying attention to details and doing their jobs. They, right now, to me, are not, and that boils down to poor clearances. That boils down to lack of attentiveness to guys being just wide open for days in the slot, or as it seems. Willingness to fight for loose pucks in the corners and behind the nets. We've seen so many times on the penalty kill, the Islanders get beaten out for a loose puck, or they grab a loose puck behind the net. It's a weak clear up the boards. It's the same exact story. We don't know what Cronin, Capuano, and Waite are telling his penalty killers to do. We don't know exactly that they're saying, yeah, sit back and play this passive box. I think they do need to be much more aggressive on the point men. We've seen other teams do it. As soon as they started realizing Johnny Boychuk's imminent danger at the point on the power play, other teams immediately adjusted. and started keeping a wing out high specifically to cover Boychuk and take him out of the equation on the power play. We haven't seen the Islanders make any kind of those adjustments, and I think that they're giving the opponent's defensemen way too much time and room to make the smart decision instead of forcing them to make a quick decision, which at that point becomes a 50-50 proposition for a turnover. But again, the numbers over those two stretches, 25-27 and 27-29, tells me that the system can work, but that the players are just simply not executing that system on a consistent basis. And again, it comes down to, and let's talk about the goaltending for a second. The goaltending when the Islanders are shorthanded, okay? Coming into last night's game, Yaroslav Halak and Chad Johnson, who's been horrible, have an 81.5% save percentage when shorthanded. That is only 1/10 of a percentage point better than the last team in the league, the Buffalo Sabres. So conversely, the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are right behind the Islanders in the Metropolitan Division, and Marc-Andre Fleury have a 92.7 save percentage when killing a penalty.
Yeah, but I
So
don't.
it comes down to needing a big stop, too, when you're shorthanded. Your goaltender has to do his part in the entire penalty kill unit. And those numbers tell me that, A, the system has worked this year before, and B, the Islander goaltending when shorthanded has been terrible.
Yeah, but to me, those numbers are skewed, though, Andy, because
How are they skewed?
because
How is
it's
save percentage skewed? It's shots.
Because-
It's saves divided by shots.
because
How's
they
it
get far too many easy shots. Look at the power play goal they scored yesterday. Hayes, and then there was a second guy standing literally 10 inches to the other side. That if Halak got the save on Hayes when Hayes scored, the puck was going in off of his stick because our defense was nowhere to be found.
And that argument would hold water to me, Shane, if they were, let's say, 15th in save percentage on the kill. They're almost last.
But what are the but okay?
Last.
You know, we have to look. I don't know if it's going to be quick to find. We have to see how many power play shots they're giving up. Because if they give up 10 power play shots and 9 and 5 go in,
As a whole, we could talk about the penalty kill till we're all blue in the face. As a whole, this team is not good defensively, okay?
no, they're still not.
They are 22nd in the league coming into yesterday, allowing 2.82 goals per game,
23rd now.
even though they allow the second fewest shots per game in the league.
3.1, fourth overall. It's nuts.
So they're allowing the second fewest shots in the entire league, yet they're 22nd, 23rd in goals per game against.
And
They're
listen,
they're 26th in 5 versus in even strength save percentage, 26th, and 20th in faceoffs. So defensively, penalty kill or not, this team is not very good.
and
right
wait a
now.
minute, Andy, you touched on something that even Capuano talked about last night in the presser, which is the faceoffs. The key
Yeah.
faceoffs in the other game.
Horrible.
If you have to win those faceoffs in your own zone, especially when you're man down. You know, you got to win those. And Casey's not winning them, and even in even strength, and Franzi's losing them. It's just bad. That's a really bad. That's a sore spot. No one's really talking about those faceoff losses, man.
Oh, we're
bad.
horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous watching us try and win a faceoff. But when it comes to defensively, and this is even strength or penalty kill, we are horrendous at getting the puck out of our zone.
Yes, horrendous
man.
at clearing the puck.
And that to me is not on our defense. That's on our wingers. We're horrendous right around the point area or along the boards. They have a very hard time clearing the puck up off the boards and getting past the defenseman, getting it out of the zone. Sometimes our defensemen throw ridiculous passes or shots up the glass that have no shot of our wingers getting to it, and then sometimes our wingers just make boneheaded plays along the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that those defensive numbers as a whole, don't bode well. If they were even mid-league in goals against per game or even strength save percentage or face-offs, but they're like near the bottom in key statistical categories. Now, statistics don't always tell the whole story, right? We saw 2 years ago when the Islanders made their run to the playoffs, they really, really picked it up the last, I'd say, 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still time to fix these problems and turn things around and get back to, clogging up the lanes and what they call active sticks and better clearances and all that stuff that seems to go along with defensive hockey. There is still time to fix all that. But again, we could sit, fans can sit here and bemoan and beat up Capuano, Waite, and Cronin all they want. It's up to the players to go out and have a willingness to do that. have a willingness to work harder, have a willingness to go that extra yard, sacrifice the body, be more aware mentally of where they are in certain situations. And
Absolutely. Starting with your goalie.
And you know what? Let's talk about that for a second. You know, everyone wants to, you know, say how much of a godsend Jaro Halak's been, and he has been. But let's face it, folks. You know, his record is a direct product of the Islanders' offense. In my opinion, let me say that. You know, you look at a goalie's record, and I think of all the stats that might be skewed, that's one of the biggest ones, right? Because you can win games 6-4, and you're going to obviously, you know, pick up a record like Halak's current 26-11. Mm-hmm. But his goals against is .243. His save percentage is .911. Mm-hmm. League average is roughly .917. Mm-hmm. So he's not even coming in at league average in terms of save percentage. And
so
again, I'm not seeing at even strength the Islanders allowing much in terms of tremendous scoring chances at even strength.
So are you saying basically that the offense is padding his
win totals, definitely? And I think that if you take November out, Jaro Halak for me has been kind of ordinary. You know, 350, 889 in October. 137, 950 in November, which was his obviously best month of the season. 246, 901 in December. 283, 898 in January. 306, 897 in February. I mean, it's one game, but so outside of November, where he went 9-1 with a 137, 950, he's been very ordinary, guys. Very ordinary.
Well, I will say that it's troublesome. The first 5 minutes of last night's contest, he mishandled the puck again. That's the first thing I noticed.
He just needs to stay in the net.
No, he doesn't. What he needs is he needs the defense to basically yell something to him, dude. There's somebody coming. I mean, do something, because it's got to be. For me, it's miscues, and Capuano spoke to that. He's like, he just wants. And Staple actually answered my question when I asked him. It's basically, I think Capuano wants the defense to communicate better with him. It's a question of communication, not his inability to handle the puck. You know what I mean? For one, right now the jury's out for me. Jaro Halak doesn't exude confidence with that puck on his stick. It does not.
Oh God, absolutely not.
No.
But the other thing I'll say is, and someone just said in the chat that he's been giving up some softies lately. To me, if a puck is shot at him low, short side, I'm nervous.
Yeah, I saw that in the chat. You're right, Shane. Absolutely.
That's where that Nash goal went in, the first Ranger game. That's where one of the goals went in last night.
The backhand. Yeah.
Good Branson. Yeah.
Yeah, it's low short side that scares me when they come down on Halak. But let's stop. Let's get off the goalies for a second. And Andy, I'm glad that you said something about clogging lanes, because has anybody noticed that every team in the league apparently went to school and learned how to play against the Islanders' offense? And it's called clog the middle and be strong along the boards.
Yep. Well, that could almost be a blueprint for any team, though.
Right, but the Islanders was so good at making that pass through the neutral zone, getting over the blue line, and getting set. And now teams have really shut it down. Mm-hmm. And the Islanders now, teams have adapted to the Islanders, and now the Islanders as a team, and some of this falls on, I would say this falls 60-40. 60 on the players, 40 on the coaches. The team has to adapt now and find ways to beat the teams that clog the middle and find other ways to get the puck deep and get in there and play. One of the ways is chip and chase, but you're not going to chip and chase if you're going to chip and then you're going to get beat out along the boards for the puck because you can't hold it there. Mm-hmm. To me, with Okposo out, there's maybe 4 forwards that I'm confident along the boards or in the corner with the puck aren't going to just give it up.
Right.
Maybe 4.
Let me guess.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm going to say Nikolai Kulemin is your top. Anders Lee is second. Brock Nelson from a month ago, third. And Josh Bailey's 4.
No. Strome?
Nope.
Bailey, and Bailey.
No, Strome to me stays on the puck extremely well. Also knows when to get rid of it. Knows when he's going to lose it and gets rid of it.
But Shane, if all you mentioned about a minute ago about players not able to clear the zone, that Strome is one of them.
Yeah, he's also a center learning how to play wing at the highest level of hockey.
Now here we go. We're gonna give him an excuse. All right.
I will. I'll give Strome an excuse for that because Strome is also plus like 97.
You're gonna tell me that Nikolai Kulemin should be the top of your list?
Nikolai Kulemin's on my list. Relax. I'm not putting them in any particular order. I'm just giving you 4 names. Let's take a chill pill over there. Listen, you met me yesterday, and you saw that I have at least a head on you. So you better watch it.
No, you don't. Easy. No.
Rich. Shane likes to think he's a lot taller than he is. He talks a big game, but he does that all the time to me. He likes to talk a big game.
With his Brock Nelson jersey.
Let's just touch on real quick too some stuff that came out today. By the way, Cam Talbot's given up 2 goals on 5 shots in the first period. Boston 2, Rangers 1 after 20 minutes.
And that's really sad about Lundqvist. I mean,
not going to do a lot to cure the Rangers' angst. Look, I'm never gonna. I wish him well. I hope it's not serious. But it sounds pretty freaking scary to me.
To me, it sounds pretty stupid that he stayed in the first game and played the next game.
Was it his throat or his neck?
His throat. I don't care what the Rangers came out and said today about it being day to day. It really is a scary thought as to what it could be. Windpipe, the carotid arteries right there. There's a lot of potential there.
What was it, a stick or a puck? I forgot. I didn't see the whole
shot right in the throat.
It looked like it tipped the stick and came straight up under his
throat.
But what I don't get is Lundqvist is arguably the best goalie in the league. Why did he look up?
I don't know. Nobody knows what he was doing. But.
It was such a weird motion that he essentially took his throat guard out of the equation the way he moved, and that puck came straight up and hit him in the neck. It was scary to watch.
That happened to Billy Smith,
Yesterday they announced, that he was going to start, and then today they came out and said that he's going to see a specialist for his neck, and then they came out around 3 o'clock and said no additional details. He's day to day. So that tells me that the results were either inconclusive or
not good.
Second opinion.
Or a second opinion, or even a third possibility, which is what we saw with the Kyle Oposo injury. PR is just telling people what
they
PR
want
wants to tell people.
Exactly. On that note.
Oh boy.
Anyway, let me just finish my point on where I was going with that.
Go ahead. Guess not.
Dump and Chase podcast is in no way affiliated with the New York Islanders, Bridgeport Sound Tigers, or the National Hockey League. The views expressed by the host, panel, and guests are their own.
Letty moves it up the wall. Oposo, or rather Nelson, trying to sweep it out. He got it out to center, and Dallas has to chase it back to their own blue line. They turn it over. Frans Nielsen shooting for it. He scores! Frans Nielsen has the hat trick, and they'll ice it for the Islanders as they have a 7-5 lead, and the Hats are hitting the ice here at the Coliseum.
Welcome back to the Dump and Chase podcast. Once again, here are your hosts, Shane Blackburn, Andy Graziano, and Rich Diaz-Rodriguez.
I wanted to make sure we got that disclaimer in there if we were going to go any further about the Kyle Oposo situation. I heard Kyle Oposo's name come up, and I was like, disclaimer, please, and thank you.
It came out via Katie Strang that Kyle Oposo does in fact have a this fucking Barry does have a detached retina.
Can someone explain to me why we let Katie Strang break that of all people?
We know the answer to that. Look, I'm not going to go into that, but basically that's the PR business, right? PR is PR. I was asked a question. I asked PR. I gave the answer that they gave me. It was obviously the answer that the Islanders wanted the people to hear at that present time with the All-Star break coming up. And that's that. It turned out to be, somebody got a text or something in school from somebody that knew Oposo's babysitter or something like that, and it ended up being right. But apparently, when Strang broke it that it was a detached retina from her source, then Beatty Galoff came out with the source of his own, saying that Oposo just kind of woke up he's been having kind of issues with his eye for a while, but just woke up and couldn't see out of that eye. Today there was an interesting story on Islanders Point Blank of a conversation with a specialist, an ophthalmologist, and man, he came out and said specifically that if the detached retina was diagnosed with vision loss, that it's probably the most serious type of detached retina.
Yeah.
And that kind of scared me a little bit when I read that. So basically,
can I say something, Andy? Before you, I was at the doctor's today, and they found out that I write for the site.
Yep.
And this doctor is an Islander fan, and he said to me, "Oh, I read that. I read on ESPN that Oposo's out with detached retina," and he goes, "My understanding is this." And this is what he said, and I won't say his name.
He's a general doctor?
No. He's a neurologist, and he said to me that as far as he's concerned, if he lost vision severely, that it could be the end of him, and that he would be insane to play hockey because he's one check away, one concussion away from going blind in one eye.
Jesus.
So I mean, that's a doctor, dude, and he doesn't know. He's just guessing, right? We don't know. But we're not going to say that. I'm not going to say that because I had a coworker who had a detached retina. She came back and she's fine. I mean, it was just.
Well, I mean, look at the eye injury to Mark Stahl. Look at
exactly. I mean,
Brian Berard went on to have a decent career.
Let me tell you something though. Mark Stahl has not been the same player since that eye injury.
No, I agree.
Who would be? I mean,
I agree.
It's scary as hell.
No, look. This definitely affects Kyle Oposo in potentially a big way. You can only hope that maybe the Galoff source was incorrect or inaccurate in what he said about just basically waking up one morning and not being able to see. So it's just a scary situation, and the reality is nobody knows. The Islanders are not going to give out any information. They're not confirming or denying Strang's report. But again, in terms of PR, I basically learned my question. I basically learned my lesson, and that's don't ask any questions about injuries.
Can I say something, Andy? The article, there was a brief blurb about it today in ESPN, and in it made it sound as if Capuano didn't even know. I don't know if you caught that. He was surprised as well. He said
about what? Well, Capuano said that he had a feeling something was wrong, but let's not forget also, guys, Kyle Oposo practiced the day before the break. The day before the Islanders went on break, Kyle Oposo was at practice and practiced fully that Tuesday. So this had to have happened that Wednesday or Thursday, that he just, according to Galoff's source, woke up and just couldn't see out of his eye, because he was at practice Tuesday and was absolutely fine going into the break. Before the players broke, some went down to the Bahamas for the wedding of Andrew McDonald, and at that point everything was fine. So this literally just came up, and I was hoping with the time frame and I was kind of hoping it would be a shoulder, was my hope. But if Strang's source is right, there's no reason to believe that it's wrong. It's worse than what we thought.
Let's just hope, because it's a damn shame if it is what people like my neurologists say it is. I mean, like, he doesn't know from a hole in the wall because he hasn't met him, but
yep.
Detached, like you just said, Andy, that's on point what you said. If you lose sight because of a detached retina,
it's the more serious one of the detached retinas.
I'll never forget it as long as I live, and we'll leave it at this. I'm literally working this is like 15 years ago. I'm working on Wall Street. This chick's like, oh my God, I can't see. It's all blurry. And like, what's wrong? And she's like, I don't know. And then she had a migraine, and then she went to the hospital, and then she called us and said she had a detached retina. But she had blurred vision. She didn't lose sight.
JT, I mean, it's a very strange injury, and that's what's scary about it, right? It's not as cut and dry as a shoulder surgery or a knee scope or a pulled hammy. It's totally different than that, and I agree. Let's just make this very clear, guys. We're all speculating here.
Absolutely speculating. Yeah.
Yeah, I am by no means a doctor. I
Elwood, I thought the same thing, buddy. When I heard the news from the source, that was the source, and when I thought the same thing you did, which is why I reached out to PR in the first place, because I couldn't believe that could be legit. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It turned out being legit after all. So, but the NHL is. We saw it today, as we just spoke about a little while ago. We saw it today with the Lundqvist thing. They will tell you what they want. They'll put out what they want to get out. It's that simple, and we have no control over that. So, probably better going forward. Just don't ask.
And Barry, you're 100% right.
CIA, it's true. It almost is like that. Upper, lower. That's really all it is now. Upper, lower.
All right, but back onto things that we can be more optimistic about and talk more definitively about, because I don't know the first thing about eye injuries, and nor
I
will
did stay. I did stay at
speculate.
Holiday Inn Express last night. I have had pink eye.
There you go.
So,
I had pink eye too. That's the worst experience. I mean, I'm sure detached retina is worse, but pink
You
eye.
guys stop sharing your makeup, okay? Stop sharing your makeup.
If Oposo had some conjunctivitis, I'd be able to speak to it expertly and probably even treat the poor son of a bitch.
All right, but let's look ahead. We got 4 games before our next episode on next Wednesday. We have
4 games. Four games.
Philly, Boston, Buffalo, Edmonton. So if there is a 4-game streak for the Islanders to get themselves back on track, this is certainly
Can
it.
we stop talking like that? Every time we talk like that, they lose. Stop.
Listen, I forget who it was. Someone said that
All
we were
right,
on
guys, come on. Philly loss, Boston loss, Buffalo loss, Edmonton shootout loss.
You know what's going to be extremely funny? We're going to lose to Philly.
If that happens, I'm going to not come on this show ever again.
We're going to lose. Here's my prediction. We're going to lose to Philly. We're going to beat Boston by like 6. We're going to get shut out by Buffalo. We're going to lose to Edmonton.
Exactly.
We're going to lose to Toronto.
Yep.
And then we're going to beat Columbus, the Rangers, Carolina, Nashville, Washington, and Vancouver all in a row.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why you scare me, Shane, because every time you make predictions about line changes and whatnot,
I'm like
they
so
come
close
true.
to being right all the time. It's ridiculous. It's like I have a direct line to Capuano. We were saying what did we say last week?
Yeah,
Lead to the first line, and then boom, lead to the first line. I think they listen to the Dump and Chase podcast.
Per Al in the chat, Brassard just tied the game at 2.
God
Dang it.
Do you guys realize? I mean, let me ask you this question, if I may, before I forget. Do you?
You are getting old, so you might forget quickly.
Up.
Ouch.
Wow, man. All right.
Very
Anyway,
ouch.
does it matter to any of you and our listeners that the Islanders finish this season atop the Metro? So long as
No.
they're in the playoffs, does it matter?
No, as long as they're in the playoffs, I don't care where they finish.
Okay, good. Because neither do I. Because right now, I think they're not going to hold that top spot much longer.
Actually, that's a lie. I do care where they finish. I want them to finish so that they could only play the Rangers in the conference finals.
well,
I
yeah,
think
you win
that
everyone else.
seed. We've seen seed mean absolutely nothing in the NHL playoffs. We've seen
the
8 seeds beat 1 seeds. We've seen 7 beat 2. We've seen 6 beat 3. A seed to me, get in and all 16 teams are on level ground, and it then becomes who wants it more.
Exactly.
All honesty, I see us playing in the 2-3 division game.
Yeah, exactly. Good. That's I'm not alone in this. Fantastic.
I don't know whether we'll be 2 or 3, but I see us playing in the 2-3 division game.
The way
Wow,
the
let
way
me
the
take a look
Rangers
at
are
that,
playing.
Shane.
The way the
What'd you
Rangers
say?
are playing, I forgot it. They're gonna finish.
What'd you say,
Let me
Andy?
take a look at this, Shane. The Islanders right now, after last night's loss,
65.
currently have a 98.8% chance of making the playoffs. That's down 0.6. They have a 2.9% chance of winning the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
They have a 1.8% chance of winning the President's Trophy.
Nice.
And
they're
the Seattle Seahawks had a 99.5% chance to win the Super Bowl.
Their most likely finish in terms of percentage, their highest percentage is 17% to finish 4th in the conference, 16% to finish 2nd, and 14% to finish 6th. They only
Okay,
have
so
an
the
11%
so
chance
fourth-
of 7 and a 7% chance at 8.
So a 4th place finish in the conference would put us at 2 or 3 in the division.
Yeah,
That's
and that's
correct.
where the Islanders stand right now, and that's where I think they're going to stay.
That's where I think they're gonna. That's what I see them finishing.
The whole Metropolitan Division right now is struggling. I mean, I tweeted out this morning the records for all the teams in the Metro over the last 10 games, and the only teams really tearing it up right now is New Jersey, who decided to really start playing well. But other than New Jersey and a nice little decent stretch, there's really not many teams playing better than. In fact, there's no team playing better than 6 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why through this slump or lull, the Islanders have been able to stay in first place. Now, look at the Chicago Blackhawks. I mean, they haven't scored in 6 periods. They're, I think, 4-6 in their last 10.
Mm-hmm.
They're 31-18-2. Good teams go through lulls. They go through bad stretches. I still think this Islanders team is a good team, and I think they're a team that, if they fix some of their problems, can have success in the playoffs. They're by no means a perfect team, but again, as we're seeing with the Blackhawks, as we're seeing with the Canadiens, who, by the way, are 1-3 this year against the Buffalo Sabres.
That's right. Good.
Good teams go through stretches, and good teams work their way out of those stretches. So we'll see.
Well, I think someone said the last time the Islanders made the playoffs, they went on a 7-game losing streak in the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
All
about right. Yeah,
So
you don't
again-
remember? That was 2 seasons ago when everybody
Again,
wanted
yes.
Capuano fired.
I'm not.
Matty D, real quickly, the team that has, well, they don't do it by division, Matt. They do it by conference. Let me see. No, they actually do it by division. Give me 1 second. The Metropolitan Division, the team with the highest percentage chance of finishing first at 20% is the Rangers. Then the Islanders are at 10. The Penguins are at 7 in terms of finishing first in the division. So.
Although I think that percentage could change drastically depending on the news on Lundqvist.
Absolutely. It changes. Well, plus it changes each game. Sport Club Stats is a great site which I'm looking at now, which does all this, and it basically changes the percentage odds with each result. It's really an interesting site. It's not perfect, believe me, but their algorithm is pretty good. It proved to be pretty successful the last 3 years or so in terms of having a really high probability of actually predicting these kinds of things. So it's a fun thing to look at as we get into the final 30 games of the season.
Yeah.
And kind of look ahead toward the playoffs.
I don't have a problem saying this because I believe it's true.
Okay.
Every time I go, they lose. time I go.
Yeah, I kind of didn't want to say that, Rich, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm 1-3.
You might be.
I think I'm 1-3 this year.
You might
What the hell am
be
I-
the bad luck.
This season, man, those freaking boots, my glasses, and my hat, nothing's working.
Barry's got a 100% chance of losing his mind one way or the other. We all do, buddy. We all do.
Again, I'm just gonna say when it comes to percentages, I'm pretty sure Seattle had a 99.5% chance to win the Super Bowl.
Run the ball! Run the ball!
You run the ball.
Can we speak for one moment about fans who should be pissed at coaches? Jack Capuano is nowhere near as high on the list as Pete Carroll is right now.
Pete Carroll made a decision. It backfired on him. End of story. Move on.
Seriously, if he would have caught the ball, he would have been the gutsiest coach in the history.
You gotta
of the NFL.
love.
I still would have called him, even if they scored a touchdown there, I still would have called him a stupid coach.
Real quickly, you gotta love the guts. I mean, you gotta love the poise and the maturity and the professionalism of Russell Wilson. That's something I deeply respect out of a professional athlete. And
Young guy too, yeah.
I love the way after the game he's like, you know what, this one play, this one game will not define my career. I'll be back next year better than ever. I'll learn from my mistakes and I'll move on. And just the way he walked off the field with like I said, with character, with respect, and with poise. I got to tip my hat to him. The rest of the Seahawks who started a brawl at the end of the game, they're all just thugs. Punks.
Andy, let me ask you, because I know you're a Finns fan. It's hard to root for the Patriots, but I hate that attitude that those Seahawks have, and
well, you kind of have to in a certain sense, not to that extreme, but you kind of have to walk around with a certain aura of confidence and toughness. But
there's a difference between confidence and that, though.
Yeah, no, that's fair to say. I'm a Dolphin fan, so I'll never experience winning. I'm just destined to.
You're a Dolphin and an Islander fan. Good luck.
No, I'm gonna experience it with the Islanders. goddammit. I'm gonna experience it with the Islanders.
No, you are before. Yeah, the Islanders are going to win a freaking championship before the Jets and the Dolphins.
The Dolphins are that every year.
Woman president.
They're like no worse than 7-9, no better than 9-7. They're that team that's always out of the playoffs and not bad enough to get a high draft pick. So
they have to learn how to tank.
We'll just continue to spin our wheels for the next 15 years.
All right.
I think Carroll's a great coach too. I don't think
Oh, obviously. I mean, you don't get the 2 Super Bowls in a row without being a good coach.
Yeah, Sherman, Tom showed a lot of class too, going up to Brady, especially given their history from the last game when Sherman kind of was trash talking Brady off the field. And let's make something clear too about Tom Brady. People hate Tom Brady for all the wrong reasons. I think he's never done anything to me personally. Even not personally, I don't He's never caused. He's always carried himself with class and poise. He's never done anything outside of the whole Bridget Moynihan situation that's really, I could say, disrespectful, and that was a personal decision by him. Look, people hate him because he's good looking. He's got the supermodel wife. He's Tom Brady. He's a
4 Super Bowl rings. I mean,
quarterback, 4 rings, going to be set for life. And
haterade.
you can't take that thing. You can't take that and turn that into hatred for a person. So
right.
I think the hatred toward Tom Brady is misguided. Good for him. He goes down as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
I'd rather have Tom Brady to cheer for than Sidney Crosby, to be completely honest with you. You know why? Because I don't like the way Sidney Crosby plays hockey. He's talented.
Tom Brady doesn't dive.
Exactly. There are things. There are things about what Sidney Crosby does to the game, the way he chisels at the game, because he's cutting corners, that irks me to no end. That I don't like. I don't mind. I'd rather you be a showboat jerk like Richard Sherman, but don't cut corners the way Sidney Crosby does. He cuts corners with a hacksaw sometimes, and it just annoys me. That I don't like, because that destroys the game, the integrity of the game. You want to deflate a ball, fine. But I've never seen.
By the way, everyone listening to this show right now has to go on. Just find it. Just go to. Just type in Patriots deflate ball Saturday Night Live on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Look at the skit that Saturday Night Live did on Inside the NFL.
You knew that was coming.
On the Deflategate. It was absolutely one of the... And Saturday Night Live has gone progressively downhill since when I was a kid and started watching it with Friday Night videos and then Saturday Night Live and on Saturday. But this was one of the funniest skits I've seen them do in months. It was absolutely hysterical. Hysterical. Everyone should check it out.
Oh, should they?
Yes, they should. You shouldn't, though, because I don't want you to have any joy in your life whatsoever. I would have no problem if you never laughed again.
Listen, I don't want to hear you crap. All right. So, Islanders lose 3 in a row. They have 4 games coming up before our next episode. 4 games that are definitely winnable for the Islanders. Again, they have Philly, Boston, Buffalo, and Edmonton before we come back next Wednesday on the 11th. Hopefully we'll have more positive news to talk about next week than we did this week. Maybe we'll see an improvement in the special teams. Maybe the special teams will become more special. Again, thank you guys for listening to the Dump and Chase podcast. Andy Graziano, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Well, I'd like to thank everyone, first of all, for coming into the IRC chat this evening. We love having you in. We love interacting with you as we're doing the show. Something new that Shane set up, and we're absolutely having a blast with it. So thank you for taking time out of your night to listen to us and talk with us. Secondly, just hang in there, folks. We knew it would get bumpy. We knew there'd be a little turbulence along the way. That's what we're experiencing right now. But believe in this team. There's still talent on this team, and there's still time to kind of right the ship and get things going in the right direction heading into the playoffs. I don't like to get hung up on game-by-game results, but rather how they're playing. And the last 2 games have been really crappy, but let's hope we turn things around tomorrow in Philly.
Rich Diaz Rodriguez, is there anything you would like to plug?
No, I just wanted to thank you guys for having me, as always. I wish Carlo Poso a speedy recovery, and I hope it's not too severe, seriously.
All right, and thank you guys for listening again. Check out the dumpandchasepodcast.com, islandersinsight.com. Follow us all on Twitter. Subscribe on either Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you want to get us. We're available. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for participating in the chat. It is a lot of fun to go through that chat during the show. I'm sure you guys enjoy it too. And every show, there seems to be more and more people jumping in the chat and enjoying it. So hopefully we can get it nice and big and have some real good conversations in it throughout the year. And hopefully we'll have 4 positive games to talk about next week. So this has been the Dump and Chase podcast. I'm Shane, there, Andy, and Rich. And until next week, let's go Islanders. Perfect.
All right, we are post-showing.
All right.
Oh, Elwood would have. We know that, Elwood. I know it's like old AOL, but it is what it is, dude. It's IRC, baby. But you know what? It's quick, it's reliable, And now I'm checking my Twitter now, Elwood. I'm scared. I'm a little
And
scared.
you know what the best part about this is, Elwood? It's free 99.
Yeah, it costs $0.
Yeah, boy. All right, let's look at it.
Hold on, Elwood. I'm checking my Twitter. I'm scared right now. Let's see.
But I don't see it.
Man.
What is it?
It's Shane playing pond hockey with the couple of sketchy-looking characters.
That's from the Cleveland show. That's a bad picture. At least pick a better picture of me, Elwood. You can see the
you know what?
length
You
of my
do the most
schnoz.
Shane, I love you, but you do the most annoying thing. There's nothing that annoys me more in the NHL, and
Then the visor up. Oh, yeah,
why the fuck even wear one, dude?
Because I couldn't see because it was outside.
Fuck, I hate that.
Yeah, no, I couldn't see because it was
Every
outside.
time I see
That's why
Carl
popped
Hagelin,
out.
I'm like, you fucking dummy. Why even wear one?
Well, they have to now. That's why
I
they wear
know
that's why
that,
they do
but
it.
you putting it up like that, it does nothing.
What do you call it? You know who does that too? Nielsen does it. Nielsen's is like on the top of his head.
Well, Barry's plugging the Bahama Board of Tourism. Come to the Bahamas. We have plenty of sand for your eyes. And Pete wants to know how come Chanserve never talks. Al said we didn't cover the overall uninspired and listless execution. I think we kind of did, but
Listless. I like that. That's totally what it is.
Rangers Suck Balls has joined the chat room.
That would be me.
Of course it is.
Elwood's giving out his own Twitter handle incorrectly. Dumbass. It's at Elwood1. It's a good follow. Everyone should go on and follow Elwood Jones.
Just be prepared for crazy pictures to get
Yeah,
posted.
that's all right. Get him some more followers. This guy's
All day.
this guy's a good talk, and he's
Tom Hanks is at the New York Ranger game
whoop-de-doo.
with the volleyball, so I no longer have any.
Whoop-de-doo.
Wait, what's his handle?
At Elwood1. E-L Wood, and then 1.
Like, have you ever seen Blues Brothers? Like Elwood?
By the way, I will be in Syracuse on Friday checking out the Bridgeport Sound Tigers against the
that's right.
Syracuse Crunch. I will try to get something up on the site on Saturday after I take a look at at how Brent Thompson's got the team playing down there. So, yes, Matty, Evander Kane was scratched tonight. We're awaiting the first bait click article about trade rumors involving Evander Kane to hit any minute now. So.
He's not. You got to stay away from that right now.
Very expensive. He's very
and he's a
very
problem.
tough to handle and very expensive.
He's a big problem.
I talked to Pat Williams the other day, the Winnipeg Jets writer for NHL.com, and yeah, he told me the Jets are looking for a very high pick, which the Islanders don't have, and a prospect. So that's not going to be happening anytime soon. Al goes Bruin Ranger games being played much faster than the past 3 Isles games combined. That's true.
That is true.
That is true. Well, Elwood, maybe next show we'll save some time and we'll talk some Indiana Pacers.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Nah.
Maybe if they were relevant.
Pacers.
Maybe if they were relevant, Elwood.
We'll talk some Pacers because I love basketball. Indianapolis
I hate-
Fuel. Who the hell's that? Rangers are now up 3-2.
Oh, God damn it.
Son of a beeswax.
Find out who the Indianapolis
Great
people are.
Odin's Raven.
They are a hockey team.
Kane for an eye-watching kid and a player to be named later.
Oh, they play in the ECHL, Andy.
They what? The ECHL?
For the Chicago Blackhawks.
ECHL is wicked, wicked stuff, dude. Wicked hockey. Although AHL hockey is great too, and I'm kind of happy that Friday
I love
night
AHL hockey.
Friday night I got third row from the glass, center ice, $25.
Well, yeah, for like what? Like, yeah, it's insane.
$25. Third row from the ice, right at the red line. Hopefully the Colin McDonald shuttle is in town that night. See old C-Mac.
Damn, you went there. Oof.
I like
That's
C-Mac.
I didn't say I didn't like him. Poor guy's been up and down the last 3 days.
I know, but I
Comes
feel
up in
bad
the
for
morning,
him.
gets sent down in the afternoon.
Dono was like,
Does
"Welcome
he-
to my world."
Honestly, though, does he even bother flying at this point? Like, At this point, I would just stay in Bridgeport and be like, listen, if you really need me, I'll jump on a plane. But
And that's home for him, isn't it? He lives like a block away from that place, doesn't he? Like in actual life, like isn't he from Connecticut?
Step in from Nash and Girardi at 16:56 of the second period.
God damn it. Gosh dang it.
God damn it, indeed.
Well, I'm gonna go.
No,
I
you
will-
can't.
Where the hell are you going?
Yeah, what do
I
you
got
have to do
punk.
tonight?
I gotta go.
Barry has an eye for detail. Barry's just ringing him up. King of
Barry's-
puns this evening. By the beard of Zeus. Veronica, she put that in the teleprompter.
You're ridiculous. Please stop.
I gotta
that
fire
now.
you too, Ed. Bing bong boom. Great show tonight. Really sharp. Everyone on the floor as well.
Well, you go watch that Ranger game.
Screw that. Rangers.
Okay, I'm gonna go eat though, because I'm really hungry. I think I'm gonna make bagel bites. I'm
Elwood,
out.
you know why you
Bye-bye.
can't have an NHL team there? Because you're in Indianapolis, dude.
With that, goodbye.
I don't know if that
That's
was
why,
an
Elwood.
insult or not.
Yeah, you got to work on me, Elwood. I can't stand basketball. Ever since I was a kid, I hate the way you really only got to pay attention to the last 3 minutes of the game, which takes an hour to play.
Yerp.
But who knows? Maybe if you continue to work on me, and you may turn me into a basketball fan just yet. Rather see a D-man added. Yeah, I don't know if, like I said, there's. I honestly don't see the Islanders doing much of anything, to be honest with you. Adding a D-man is just going to continue to clog up the pipeline for guys like Scott Mayfield and Ryan Pulak and Griffin Reinhart, who you should see up all within the next 2 years. I don't see that happening. The Islanders don't have draft picks to really give away for a high-quality rental. So for those reasons, I don't see a trade happening. I think they're happy with their depth currently. They think they can ride this Oposo thing out. I think unless within the next 4 weeks they get a really bad prognosis on Oposo, that might force their hand a little bit. But then you're looking at a trade involving assets from the Islanders moving, considering, like I said before, that we don't have a first or second round draft pick. So those are my thoughts on that.
Okay. On that, I'm gonna go eat because I'm very hungry. So thank you
Unbelievable.
everybody. Thank you everybody for listening. And
Yes,
hanging
thank
out
you
in the chat
guys,
with us.
especially the chat. Listen, Shane, thank you for setting that up, and the people who joined us tonight, thank you so much for coming in. Tell your friends, spread the word. We want to get this thing as big as we possibly can. Just make it a huge cluster F. I can just imagine this thing with 50 or 100 people in it. It'd be insane. But we love chatting with you guys. We love the fact that you're listening and chatting with us. So thank you very much. It's really, really appreciated. Everybody have a good night. Stay safe.
And Pete, no, I don't trade for a winger for the long haul if Kyle's
you
out.
ride
for
it
the
out.
season.
You ride it out.
Unless an absolutely outstanding deal makes itself apparent. Other than that, I'm out. All right, guys, I'm gonna go eat. I'm very hungry. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll be back next week. Make sure you check for this to be up tomorrow.
Have a great night, guys.
Bye, guys. See you at Andy.